10 days before Thanksgiving, I heard my loving daughter planning to humiliate me in front of all the guests, declare me insane, and kick me out of my own home. Betrayal by blood is the worst wound. I silently changed my plans, turning her trap into my own. On November 27th, she called. "Dad, where are you? The guests are waiting." I laughed. "Look in my drawer." What she found made her scream, and her whole world fell apart. Justice is sweet when revenge is cold as calculation. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. The doctor's appointment ended 40 minutes early. I pulled into my driveway at 3:15 instead of 5, cutting the engine and sitting there a moment in the November heat. Scottsdale in autumn, still pushing 85 degrees, the sun bleaching everything pale. My knees ached from the drive. 68 years of living leaves its marks. I grabbed my keys and entered through the side door, the one that opens into the laundry room, quieter than the front. My shoes came off by habit. Jennifer hated when I tracked dust through the house. Her house now, apparently, though I didn't know that yet. Voices drifted down from upstairs, my office. Jennifer's laugh first, that particular sound she makes when she's pleased with herself. Then Brian's deeper rumble, words I couldn't quite catch. I paused at the bottom of the staircase, hand finding the railing. Oak, solid. I'd refinished it myself 15 years back. Jennifer's voice came clearer now. "Dr. Phillips signed everything. The assessment confirms progressive dementia. By Thanksgiving, we'll have the guardianship hearing scheduled." My hand tightened on the wood. Brian's response carried through the quiet house. "And the house transfer documents? Once he's declared incompetent, you'll have full control. 680,000. We can finally pay off my debts and start fresh." The blood drained from my face. I felt it happen, that cold wash moving down through my chest. Jennifer again, casual as discussing the weather. "The old man doesn't suspect a thing. He still thinks I'm his devoted daughter. 2 more weeks and this house is ours." I stood frozen. An engineer's mind is trained to process information systematically. Load calculations, stress points, structural integrity. My brain applied those same principles now. They were planning to strip me of everything. The house I'd bought with my late wife. The independence I'd guarded fiercely through 2 years of widowhood. My dignity. Footsteps crossed the office floor above. I moved backward, silent, each step measured. Back through the laundry room, out the side door, into the garage. I sat in my car with the door closed and stared at the steering wheel until my breathing normalized. 20 minutes, maybe. Could have been an hour. When I finally went inside, they were in the kitchen. Jennifer looked up, smiling. That smile I'd trusted for 38 years. "Dad, how is the doctor?" I manufactured a smile in return. "Fine. Just routine checkup. How was work today, sweetheart?" She turned back to the cutting board, chopping vegetables. "Oh, same old boring insurance claims. Hey, you're still planning to host Thanksgiving here, right? I've invited some friends." I nodded, said nothing, sat down at the table. Brian glanced at me, something flickering behind his eyes. Suspicion, guilt. I chewed slowly, watching them both, forcing myself to swallow. That night, I waited. Their bedroom door closed at 10:30. I listened to the house settle, the familiar creaks and whispers of a structure I knew intimately. At midnight, I dressed in dark clothes, old habit from my Navy years, and moved through the kitchen to the trash bins outside. 3 bags. I went through each one, methodical. Coffee grounds, vegetable peels, junk mail. Then in the recycling bin, crumpled between pizza boxes, papers, legal papers. I smoothed them out under my small flashlight, hands shaking despite my efforts at control. Petition for emergency guardianship and conservatorship in the matter of Robert James Gray, an alleged incapacitated person. I sat on the cold garage floor, holding this thing, reading my daughter's handwriting in the margins. One phrase circled in red ink. Subject demonstrates significant cognitive decline and poses danger to self. Lies. Clinical, calculated lies. I don't know how long I sat there. Long enough for my legs to go numb. Long enough for the rage to crystallize into something colder, sharper, useful. At 2 a.m, I stood, folded the document carefully, placed it in my jacket pocket. Tomorrow, I'd need answers. Tomorrow, I'd need a plan. I walked toward the house, stopped at the door, looked back at my car. 8 days until Thanksgiving. 8 days until they planned to destroy me. My jaw tightened. I opened the door and stepped inside. Dawn light crept through the bedroom blinds, turning everything gray gold. I hadn't slept. Couldn't. The guardianship petition lay spread across my small desk like evidence at a crime scene, which I supposed it was. My engineer's mind had been working all night, analyzing, calculating, building solutions the way I'd once built bridges and office complexes. I pulled out a fresh notebook, began writing lists. Assets, vulnerabilities, timeline. The house, my house, valued at $680,000. Jennifer and Brian had lived here rent-free for 2 years. I did the math automatically. $2,000 monthly market rent times 24 months equals $48,000 they owed me. But they weren't planning to pay. They were planning to take everything. The safe in my closet held the real ammunition. I worked the combination, Emily's birthday still after 3 years of her being gone, and pulled out the documents. Deed to the house, in my name only. Bank statements, will. Everything Jennifer and Brian had probably already copied during their 2 years of unrestricted access. They'd had time to prepare. That much was obvious. I spread it all out, cross-referencing the guardianship petition. They had medical records somehow obtained from Dr. Phillips, probably witness statements ready, legal documents prepared in advance. This wasn't impulsive. This was calculated, methodical, almost professional. My engineering background kicked in properly then. Every problem has a solution. Every structure has weak points. If they wanted the house, I'd remove the house from the equation. Simple. Sell it before the guardianship hearing could happen. I pulled out my laptop, searched Arizona guardianship proceedings timeline. The results loaded slowly, rural internet, even in Scottsdale. 2 to 3 weeks after filing, typically. They'd mentioned Thanksgiving as their target date. That gave me 8 days maximum. Maybe less if they'd already filed and I just hadn't been served yet. 2 years, I muttered to the empty room. 2 years I gave them a home, and this is how they repay me. I paused, staring at the petition. Fine. They want to play legal games? I built structures for 40 years. I know about foundations and how to demolish them. At 8 o'clock, I made my first call. Notary Public Office in Phoenix. The woman who answered sounded young, efficient. I requested an emergency appointment to verify property ownership and review my selling rights. She had an opening at 10:30. I photographed every page of the guardianship petition with my phone, uploaded them to an encrypted cloud folder Emily had helped me set up years ago. Then I crumpled the original, exactly as I'd found it, and returned it to the recycling bin. They couldn't know I'd discovered their plan. That was critical. On my notepad, I created a timeline. Today, November 18th to Thanksgiving, November 27th. 9 days. I subtracted 1 for safety margin. 8 days to sell a house. Insane. Probably impossible. But I'd done impossible before. Arizona property law loaded on my screen. I scanned through the sections, legal language I'd learned to parse from decades of construction contracts. There, Clause 33.2.1. Property owner retains full rights to sell until court officially declares incompetence. The guardianship petition wasn't a court order. It was just a petition. I was still in control. Legally, anyway. Jennifer and Brian emerged from the guest bedroom at 9. I'd made coffee, positioned myself at the kitchen table with the newspaper spread before me, the picture of routine. Dad, you okay? You look tired. I glanced up at Jennifer, let my face show appropriate fatigue. Doctor appointment yesterday tired me out. Nothing serious. You two have plans today? Brian watched me with narrowed eyes. You sure you're all right? You seem different. I manufactured a flat smile. Just thinking about Thanksgiving. Big family dinner. Should be memorable. They left for work at 9:30. Brian's truck rumbling down the driveway. I watched through the window until they turned the corner. Then I grabbed my documents and headed for Phoenix. The notary office occupied a strip mall between a nail salon and a tax preparation service. Rebecca Pierce met me in a small conference room, professional in a gray suit, maybe 50. She reviewed my deed with careful attention. Mr. Gray, this deed shows you as sole owner. You have complete right to sell, but such a quick timeline, She looked up at me. May I ask why the urgency? I chose my words carefully. Let's say I've learned my living situation is about to change. I prefer to control that change. Her expression shifted, concern breaking through the professional mask. If someone is pressuring you, no one is pressuring me. My voice came out firmer than intended. I'm making a choice. Can you recommend a real estate attorney who works fast and keeps quiet? She studied me for a long moment, then nodded slowly, pulled a business card from her desk drawer. Mark Jenkins, best realtor in Scottsdale for quick, discreet sales. Tell him I sent you. I took the card, felt its weight between my fingers. Embossed lettering, quality. Back in my car, I sat in the parking lot, phone in hand. 8 days. I dialed the number. 1 ring, 2 rings. Jenkins Realty, this is Mark. I took a breath. Mr. Jenkins, I need to sell my house, and I need it done before Thanksgiving. A pause. That's 9 days away. My voice was steel. I'm aware. Can you do it or not? Mark's voice still echoed in my head. I can have 3 serious buyers by tomorrow if the price is right. Tomorrow. The word tasted like possibility. I sat in the parking lot outside Rebecca Pierce's office building, staring at the business card she'd given me. Estate attorney, her note had said. Someone who understands urgency. The dashboard clock showed 3:40. Jennifer and Brian would not be home for 2 hours. Time enough. The office was small, 2nd floor of a converted brownstone. Rebecca met me in the conference room, younger than I'd expected, maybe 40, sharp eyes behind frameless glasses. I spread the photographed guardianship documents across her table. She read in silence, her expression darkening with each page. Finally, she looked up. Mr. Gray, this document claims you have advanced dementia. Wander at night. Forget to eat. It's signed by a Dr. Phillips. Did you ever see this doctor? Never met him. The words came out harder than intended. But he signed papers saying I'm incompetent. How is that legal? It's not. It's fraud. She tapped the petition. But proving that takes time they're not giving you. I leaned forward. What's my move? Legal move? Rebecca didn't hesitate. Sell everything, today, tomorrow at latest, convert to liquid assets, disappear the house from under them. It's yours. You have every right. She photographed each page, building her own file, promised absolute confidentiality. Then she had me sign something. Limited power of attorney, she called it. Insurance policy if Jennifer moved faster than expected, if I became unavailable. The word hung in the air between us. How narrow is my window? I asked. She pulled up court filing records on her laptop, scrolled through recent submissions. No petition filed yet with the court system. They're probably waiting until after Thanksgiving to ambush you. She looked at me over the screen. That gives you maybe 10 days. Maximum. 10 days. Less than 2 weeks to dismantle a lifetime. I called Mark Jenkins from Rebecca's office, put him on speaker. Mr. Gray. His voice filled the small room. Good timing. I already have an interested investor from California. Cash buyer, wants quick close. He'll pay full price, $680,000 for speed. Can you be ready? Rebecca nodded at me. You have it, I said. Send the papers. I'll sign today. Your daughter lives with you, correct? Does she need to sign? The deed has one name on it. Mine. She signs nothing. After the call, Rebecca handed me a folder. Everything you need. Sale authorization, new account numbers, my direct line. Keep this hidden. I took it, felt its weight. Not just paper. Power. My power. For 2 years I'd been the confused old man in their story. Now I was rewriting the ending. My next stop was a bank I'd never used before. Chase, 2 towns over in Mesa. Not my usual Wells Fargo, where Jennifer probably had contacts. The manager set up a new checking account, arranged for wire transfer of sale proceeds. I made sure Jennifer's name appeared nowhere. When I pulled into my driveway at 5:15, everything looked normal. I parked in my usual spot, entered through the front door, called out, "I'm home," the way I always did, hung my keys on the same hook. Jennifer appeared from the kitchen. "Dad, where were you this afternoon? I tried calling." I'd rehearsed this. "Phone died. I was at the library, then drove around. Thinking about Thanksgiving menu. You still want to do turkey here?" Her shoulders relaxed. "Of course. I've invited the Hendersons, the Morales family. Maybe 10 people total. You don't mind, right? This house loves a crowd. Your mother always said that." I paused, let the memories sit between us. Let's make it a real celebration. She smiled, came over and hugged me. It will be, Dad. It really will be. I saw the lie in her eyes, said nothing. That night, I lay in bed, hearing their muffled voices through the wall. Planning. Always planning. My phone vibrated, text from Mark Jenkins. Inspection scheduled tomorrow, 10 a.m. Buyer's attorney drafting contracts. You'll need to be available to sign by noon. I typed back. I'll be there. Deleted the message. Deleted the entire text thread. Stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow the house went on the market. Tomorrow their whole plan crumbled. But they couldn't know. Not yet. Footsteps in the hallway. Jennifer, walking past my door. Probably checking if my light was off. I closed my eyes, breathed steadily, regular. The footsteps paused outside my room, then continued. My eyes opened in the darkness. Character count, 5 to 36, including spaces. Part 4, playing blind. My alarm didn't wake me. I'd never slept. Every hour I'd checked my phone. Nothing from Mark, nothing from Rebecca, nothing to indicate problems. At 7, the shower started running in Jennifer's bathroom. Normal morning routine. Brian's alarm clock buzzing through the wall. Everything ordinary. Except today, strangers would walk through this house, inspecting what Jennifer thought she'd inherit. I dressed carefully, button-down shirt, decent slacks. Not too formal, not suspicious. Just a man with morning errands. I needed to be gone before 10. In the kitchen, I made breakfast. Toast, eggs, coffee. Jennifer came down at 7:30, already scrolling through her phone. Morning, sweetheart. Big plans today? She barely glanced up. Work until 3, then grocery shopping for Thanksgiving. You? Errands in town. Maybe lunch with old colleague from the firm. I buttered my toast slowly. Tom Bradley? You remember Tom? We worked the Henderson Tower project together. She wasn't listening. At 9:40, I met Mark Jenkins at a coffee shop 3 blocks from the house. The inspector sat with him, middle-aged guy with a clipboard, professional demeanor. I handed over my house key, reviewed the inspection checklist, signed preliminary agreements. Buyer loves the neighborhood, Mark said. Deal is solid. He's motivated. Good. I watched the inspector head toward his truck, toward my home. Keep it quiet. Always do. By noon, I sat in Mark's office signing the final documents. Purchase agreement, disclosure forms, transfer authorization, closing statement, $680,000. Close date, November 25th, day before Thanksgiving. Wire transfer to my new Chase account. Mark looked at me across his desk. You're sure about this timing? Completely sure. Each signature felt like a strike against Jennifer's plan. At Chase, the manager processed my wire transfer details, helped me open a safe deposit box. I moved my emergency cash from the old box at Wells Fargo, also deposited something I'd created last night, a fake will. Typed on my old typewriter, coffee-stained paper, deliberately shaky signature I'd practiced until it looked authentic. I leave my entire estate, including house and all assets, to my beloved daughter Jennifer. Dated 3 years ago. Placed prominently in my home safe where she'd find it. Let her think she'd already won. This is quite a large wire transfer, the manager said. $640,000 after fees. Are you sure you want it all in checking? We have investment options. Checking. I need immediate access. I met his eyes. And I need this account completely separate from my previous accounts. New statements to a P.O. box, not my home address. He nodded slowly. Didn't ask why. I drove past my house at 2. The inspector's car sat in the driveway, Mark's vehicle beside it. I circled the block twice before parking down the street, waiting. They left at 2:30. I waited another 15 minutes, then headed home. Jennifer was in my study when I walked in. Going through my desk drawers, she jumped when she heard me. Oh, Dad! I didn't hear you come in. I was just... She gestured vaguely at the desk. These Thanksgiving invitations need stamps, and I thought you kept them here. I saw papers move slightly, filing cabinet ajar. Stamps? No, honey, I keep those in the kitchen. 3rd drawer down. Always have. Don't you remember? Right, of course. Too quickly. Just forgot. I'll check there. I watched her closely. Were you looking for something else? You seem nervous. Fake laugh. No, just busy. So much to plan. Hey, are you okay with 10 guests? Maybe 12? However many you want, sweetheart. I kept my voice gentle. This is your celebration, too? She left quickly. I heard her in the kitchen rattling drawers for appearance. Brian came home at 6, found me reading the newspaper in the living room. Robert, where were you all day? Jennifer said you were gone for hours. Errands, bank, lunch with Tom Bradley. You remember Tom from my engineering days? We talked about old projects. I turned a page casually. Boring stuff. Tom Bradley, right. I saw him file the name away. Planning to check, probably. Let him. Tom was real enough. Retired now, living in Tucson. We'd worked together 30 years ago. The lie had enough truth to hold. After they went to bed, I went to my safe. Removed my real will, everything to charity, the way Emily and I had planned. Replaced it with the fake. Placed it where Jennifer would see it immediately if she searched again. Which she would. Late that evening, I heard her voice through the wall. On the phone, words carrying in the quiet house. Found his will in the safe. Everything to me, just like Mom promised. The house, the accounts, all of it. Pause. Laughter. No, he's clueless. Still planning the turkey menu. I stood in the hallway listening. My phone vibrated. Text from Mark Jenkins. Closing confirmed. Wednesday, 2 p.m. Buyer's funds already in escrow. This is happening. Wednesday at 2, the house became someone else's. Wednesday at 2, Jennifer's plan died. But tonight, she was celebrating her inevitable victory. I typed back, see you Wednesday. Deleted it. Walked toward my room. Past Jennifer's door. Her voice again. By Friday, we'll have him declared incompetent. The attorney said it's a formality. My hand tightened on the doorknob. Friday. They were moving faster than I'd thought. I stepped into my room. Closed the door silently. Tomorrow was Sunday. Monday, Thanksgiving prep. Tuesday, last-minute details. Wednesday. Wednesday changed everything. I hadn't turned on the lights. Moving through pre-dawn darkness like a ghost in what was no longer my home. 2 suitcases waited by my bedroom door. Clothes, documents, photos of Emily, the essentials of a man who'd learned to travel light. The closing happened Wednesday. The wire transfer hit my account Thursday morning. $640,000. Clean. Final. Irreversible. Now came the hardest part, walking away. I checked my watch. 5:47. Jennifer and Brian wouldn't wake for another hour. Plenty of time. The suitcases felt lighter than expected as I carried them downstairs. I paused at the bottom, listening to the house settle around me. Every creak familiar. 40 years of memories in these walls. The banister Emily had wanted replaced. The hardwood floors we'd refinished together. The kitchen where Jennifer took her first steps. I filed the memories away. Kept moving. My study waited in darkness. I opened the desk drawer, the one Jennifer had searched twice this week, and placed an envelope inside. On it, written in clear block letters, Jennifer, read this. Inside, the note I'd written by lamplight an hour earlier. You wanted documents? Here's the only one that matters. Purchase agreement, November 24th, 2024. The house is no longer mine, which means it's not yours either. I hope your Thanksgiving plans work out exactly as you designed them. The father you wanted to declare insane. I'd attached a copy of the sale contract. Dated, signed, notarized. Before sealing the envelope, I photographed everything with my phone. Insurance, evidence, proof of my state of mind at this moment. Calm, rational, deliberate. At 6:15, I loaded the suitcases into my trunk, started the engine, let it warm. Looked back at the house one final time. Dark windows, silent walls, the porch light Jennifer had forgotten to turn off last night. I backed out of the driveway, didn't look in the rearview mirror. Phoenix was still sleeping when I reached downtown. The Hilton Garden Inn desk clerk looked surprised to see anyone checking in at 7:30 on Thanksgiving morning. That's unusual, she said, cheerful despite the early hour. Family gathering later? I managed a slight smile. Something like that. Though I won't be attending, which is exactly the point. She looked confused, but maintained her professionalism. Well, enjoy your stay, Mr. Gray. How long will you be staying, sir? As long as it takes. I paid cash for 3 nights up front. The room was standard. Desk, chair, bed, window overlooking the city. I unpacked methodically. Hung clothes in the closet. Arranged medications on the bathroom counter. Plugged in phone charger. Set up a temporary command center on the desk. Rebecca's number on speed dial. Bank statements in folder. List of next steps. At 9, I called Rebecca Pierce. It's done. I'm out. The note's in the desk. She'll find it when guests start arriving, and she wonders where I am. Robert, are you safe? Her voice carried concern. Do you need anything? I'm fine. Better than fine. I looked out at the Phoenix skyline. For the first time in 2 years, I'm in control of my own life. The morning crawled by. I sat by the window, watching Thanksgiving traffic build. Families heading to dinners. People carrying pies and casserole dishes. Normal holiday rhythms. At noon, I stared at my phone. Knowing what was coming, the call, the discovery, the explosion. Part of me wanted to turn it off, disappear completely. But no, I needed to hear it. Needed to hear the moment she realized everything she'd plotted for had vanished. My finger hovered over the power button, then pulled back. Let it ring. Let her panic. Let her understand what betrayal feels like from the other side. At 2:03, the phone lit up. Jennifer Mobile. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Dad, where are you? False sweetness, strain underneath. Guests are here. The Hendersons just arrived. Everyone's asking about you. I'm exactly where I need to be, Jennifer. Away from you. Her voice rose, panic creeping in. What? Dad, this isn't funny. You promised you'd be here. We have turkey, we have... I cut her off. Check my desk drawer, top right. There's an envelope with your name on it. Read it. Then you'll understand exactly where things stand. Desk drawer? What are you... Background noise. Brian asking questions, guests murmuring. I held the phone away from my ear, listening to her footsteps. She was walking. I could tell by the rhythm of her breath, the background noise changing. Footsteps on hardwood. My study. I imagined her hand reaching for the drawer, pulling it open. The rustle of paper. She'd found the envelope. Dad, there's something here with my name. What is this? Her voice uncertain now, the false sweetness cracking. I closed my eyes. Open it, Jennifer. Read every word. Silence. The sound of paper tearing. Then nothing. 5 seconds. 10. I counted them. At 15 seconds, I heard her breath catch. At 20, a sound that might be a gasp or a sob. At 25, her voice came back, barely a whisper. No, this can't. Then louder, sharper. Brian, get in here now. I pulled the phone from my ear. Even at distance, I heard her screaming. I held the phone away from my ear. Even at distance, Jennifer's voice shredded through the speaker. November 24th. He sold it, November 24th. While we were... Her words dissolved into incoherent sounds. I brought the phone back, spoke calmly into the chaos. Jennifer, I can hear guests in the background. You might want to have this conversation privately. Her breathing ragged, desperate. You can't do this. You can't just... Then Brian's voice, sharp. Give me the phone. Jennifer, give me... Fumbling sounds. Brian came on the line. Robert! Aggressive, almost a shout. What the hell did you do? Jennifer's talking about some sale. This is insane. I set the phone on speaker, positioned my iPad nearby, started voice memo recording, capturing everything. What I did was protect my assets from thieves. The house sold Wednesday. Closed escrow. Money's in my account. It's over. Over? You think you can't just... I can. I did. And Brian, I'm recording this conversation, so choose your next words carefully. A pause. Then barely controlled rage. You were manipulated. Someone took advantage of you. We can prove you weren't in your right mind. I almost laughed. Bitter sound. Really? Because I have psychiatric evaluations from 3 separate doctors confirming perfect cognitive function. Dated last week. How many doctors do you have saying otherwise? Oh, right. 1. Who never actually examined me. Dr. Phillips, wasn't it? Where are you right now? We need to handle this face-to-face. Like men. Like men? You mean like the man who planned to have me declared insane? Or like the man who forged medical documents? I'll pass on that conversation. His voice dropped, threatening. You're making enemies, old man. Dangerous enemies. I already had enemies. I just didn't know they lived in my house. I ended the call, stopped the recording, saved it to cloud storage, encrypted folder, then blocked both their numbers, but not before screenshotting contact info, call logs, previous texts, Evidence trail for Rebecca. I poured water from the minibar, hands steady, sat by the window overlooking Phoenix, watched Thanksgiving afternoon traffic, processed what had just happened. No regret, only grim satisfaction. I texted Rebecca. They know, reaction as predicted. Jennifer hysterical, Brian threatening, recorded everything. What's next? Her response came fast. Stay where you are, don't engage further. I'll handle any legal moves they make. 2 hours passed. I organized files on my laptop, began documenting the timeline. Every conversation, every meeting, every piece of evidence showing my competency, building the counter-narrative to whatever Jennifer would claim. At 4 p.m., Rebecca called. Robert, Jennifer just filed emergency petition. Claims you're mentally incompetent. Sale was fraudulent. She wants immediate injunction to reverse the transaction. I expected this. We're prepared. I opened my laptop, fingers moving across keys. What do we have? The psychiatric evals, the recordings, proof of her guardianship plot. Her voice was grim but confident. We have everything we need. But she's playing victim. Dutiful daughter trying to protect confused father. Some judges respond to that narrative. Then we show them the truth. The guardianship petition she was planning to file. The fake medical records. The 2 years of free housing while plotting to steal everything. That's not a dutiful daughter. That's a con artist. Exactly what I planned to argue. But Robert? This gets uglier before it gets better. She's fighting for her survival now. People do desperate things when cornered. Let her try. I'm done being anyone's victim. The sun was setting when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Jennifer's voice. Completely different now. No tears. No hysteria. Pure venom. You think you're clever? You think this is over? I'll prove you're incompetent. I'll prove you were manipulated. And when I do, everything reverts to your estate, which I control as your guardian. You just delayed the inevitable, old man, and made it so much worse for yourself. See you in court, Jennifer. You'll regret this, I promise you. I hung up, blocked the unknown number, but her words echoed in the quiet hotel room. Evening settled over Phoenix. I stood at the window, watching city lights blink on. My phone lay silent on the desk, all hostile numbers blocked. But I knew they were out there, planning. Jennifer with her emergency petition, Brian with his threats. I opened my laptop, began writing a detailed account of the last 10 days. Every conversation, every document, every move they made, everything I countered. Rebecca needed ammunition for Monday. I typed steadily, methodically. 2 hours passed. 3. At 9 p.m., email arrived from Rebecca. Discovery documents attached. Jennifer's petition claims you showed confusion, memory loss, inability to handle finances for 6 months. She has witness statements. Brian, naturally, and someone named Dr. Phillips. I read the lies, each one more brazen than the last. I replied, I have recordings proving the opposite, and evidence Dr. Phillips never examined me. Send me your strategy for Monday. Hit send. Kept typing. Outside, Thanksgiving night wrapped around the city. Families finishing dinners, watching football, sharing gratitude. I typed my truth into the darkness. The real battle started Monday. But tonight, I built my arsenal. December brought gray skies and colder truths. I sat in my hotel room, now extended to monthly rate, reviewing Rebecca's latest email. The Monday hearing had gone well. Judge Hayes denied Jennifer's emergency petition, found no immediate evidence of incompetency. But Jennifer wasn't done. She'd hired Marcus Webb, a lawyer known for aggressive tactics and questionable ethics. Rebecca's email outlined their new strategy. They're requesting full psychiatric evaluation, court-ordered. They claim your behavior, selling house suddenly, disappearing on Thanksgiving, proves mental decline. Judge Hayes granted the evaluation. You're scheduled for January 15th. I spent December preparing, met with 3 independent psychiatrists, underwent cognitive testing, memory assessments, personality inventories, each confirmed. Perfectly sound mind, no dementia, no impairment. Rebecca collected the documentation, building our fortress. Meanwhile, Marcus Webb escalated, filed motion claiming I'd stolen family heirlooms, Emily's jewelry, requested police investigation. Detective Carter called me on a Tuesday morning. Mr. Gray, we received a report about possible theft of valuable items from family home. I met him at the station that afternoon. Brought proof. Photos of Emily wearing the jewelry in the 1980s. Wedding gifts I'd purchased. Insurance policies in my name. Receipts showing $8,000 spent in 1985. Will showing items left to me. Carter reviewed everything, closed his notebook. Mr. Gray, this is pretty comprehensive. Why would she claim theft if... Because she's desperate. The guardianship scam failed. The house is gone. Now she's trying criminal charges. It won't work. Case closed within 48 hours. No theft occurred. January 15th arrived cold and clear. I appeared at Maricopa County Courthouse for the court-ordered psychiatric evaluation. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the court-appointed expert, conducted a 6-hour assessment in a sterile examination room. Mr. Gray, your daughter claims you sold your house impulsively without understanding consequences. Walk me through your decision-making process. I answered with an engineer's precision. There was nothing impulsive about it. On November 17th, I discovered my daughter and son-in-law planning to have me declared incompetent through fraudulent medical documents. I verified my legal rights, consulted an attorney, and executed a lawful sale of my property. That's not confusion. That's self-preservation. You recorded conversations without their knowledge. Some might call that paranoid behavior. I call it evidence collection. When someone plots to strip you of your rights, documentation isn't paranoia. It's necessity. Every recording I made was legal under Arizona's one-party consent law. She made notes. And you felt threatened enough to leave your home permanently? I felt betrayed enough to remove their weapon. The house was their target. I eliminated it. January the 22nd. Dr. Mitchell's report filed with court. I sat with Rebecca in her office as she read aloud. Subject demonstrates superior cognitive function for age. Recent actions, selling property, relocating, show clear rational planning. No evidence of dementia, confusion, or impairment. Subject's decision-making capacity fully intact. Rebecca looked up, smiling. Robert, this is complete vindication. Mitchell's report destroys their case. Judge Hayes will dismiss. No question. Good. Now we file our countersuit. I want compensation for 2 years of them living rent-free in my house. I want damages for defamation, false police reports, emotional distress. She hesitated. That's aggressive. Are you sure you want to? I cut her off. They tried to steal my life. Now they pay for it. Literally. The hearing came quickly. Judge Hayes sat behind his bench, reading the verdict with obvious impatience. After reviewing Dr. Mitchell's comprehensive evaluation, this court finds no evidence of mental incompetency. Mr. Gray's actions, while perhaps unusual, were rational responses to perceived threats. Petitioner's motion is denied. Case dismissed. Marcus Webb stood. Your Honor, we request. Judge Hayes raised his hand. Mr. Webb, your client has wasted this court's time with baseless accusations. Be grateful I'm not sanctioning her for frivolous litigation. We're done here. In the hallway afterward, Rebecca opened her briefcase, showed me Jennifer's probable next move, lawsuit, claiming I'd financially exploited myself. Creative legal theory. I laughed. Bitter. Cold. She doesn't know when to stop. People rarely do when they're losing everything. I pulled out my phone, played the recording from November 17th. Jennifer's voice. The old man doesn't suspect a thing. Rebecca listened, her face hardening. That's conspiracy to commit fraud. We can file criminal referral. Do it. No more defense. Only offense now. I walked out of the courthouse into January cold. Judge's dismissal should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like intermission. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Mr. Gray? This is Officer Linda Martinez, Phoenix PD. We received a report that you've been making threatening calls to Jennifer Thompson. She's filed for restraining order. We need you to come to the station for questioning. I stopped walking, stood on courthouse steps. Officer, I haven't contacted Jennifer since Thanksgiving. I can prove it. Phone records, witness statements. Still need you to come in, today, if possible. I closed my eyes. Jennifer wasn't just desperate. She was scorching earth. Every legal avenue blocked, so now, false police reports, restraining orders, manufactured evidence. I texted Rebecca. They filed false harassment claim. Police want statement. Her reply came instantly. Don't go alone. I'll meet you there in 30 minutes. And Robert, time to destroy them completely. I looked at that message. Time to destroy them. Yes, it was. Officer Martinez led us to the interview room. Sterile white walls, metal table, recording equipment. Rebecca set her briefcase down with deliberate calm. I sat across from Martinez, hands folded. Mr. Gray, Martinez began, Jennifer Thompson claims you've called her 17 times in past 2 weeks. Left voicemails with threats. She's requesting emergency restraining order. Rebecca slid paper across the table before I could speak. Officer, here are Mr. Gray's phone records from AT&T. 0 calls to Jennifer Thompson or Brian Thompson since November 27th. 0 texts. 0 contact of any kind. Martinez studied the records. Her expression shifted. Professional skepticism to bureaucratic irritation. Someone was wasting her time. Ms. Thompson claimed 17 calls. These records show 0. She gave us specific dates. January 8th, 9th, 12th. Your phone didn't contact her number once. Rebecca's voice was professional ice. Because her claims are fabricated. This is the 3rd false accusation against my client. Theft, harassment, and previously, mental incompetence. There's a pattern here. Martinez looked at me. Mr. Gray, you're free to go. And for the record, I hate when people waste department resources on personal vendettas. The investigation collapsed within hours. Hotel security footage showed I'd never left Phoenix during alleged threatening visits. The hotel manager confirmed my whereabouts. Martinez noted in her report, complainant's allegations demonstrably false. No evidence of harassment. Recommend no charges. Rebecca requested a copy for court records. Evidence of malicious prosecution. February 1st, Rebecca filed my countersuit in Maricopa County Superior Court. $50,000 damages for defamation and emotional distress. $48,000 compensation for 2 years unpaid rent. Market rate $2,000 monthly. Criminal referral for medical document forgery. Brian panicked when served, called me directly, bypassing attorneys. Robert, let's be reasonable. We both made mistakes. You sold the house. Fine, that's done. But this lawsuit? It'll bankrupt us. $20,000, that's everything we have. Take it, and let's end this. I recorded the call. Everything you have. That's interesting, Brian, because 2 months ago you thought you'd have $680,000. My house, my money, my life. Now you're offering me $20,000 like it's a favor? We were wrong, okay? Is that what you want to hear? We were wrong. No, what I want is exactly what I'm getting. Justice. See you in court. March 15th, the hearing. Judge Sharon Morrison presided, reviewing evidence I'd assembled over months. Timeline on poster board showing the 2-year plot. Authenticated documents proving forgery. Recordings demonstrating premeditation. Psychiatric reports confirming my competency. Mr. Gray, I've reviewed your evidence, Judge Morrison said. 2 years of free housing while planning to defraud you of property. Fabricated medical documents. False police reports. This court finds defendant's conduct egregious. Marcus Webb attempted defense. Your Honor, my clients were concerned about Mr. Gray's welfare. Judge Morrison cut him off. Counselor, your clients forged a doctor's signature. That's not concern. That's fraud. Potentially criminal fraud. Rebecca presented our case systematically. Your Honor, defendants exploited Mr. Gray's generosity. Lived rent-free, market value $2,000 monthly, 24 months, $48,000. Then attempted to steal his primary asset through fraudulent guardianship. We're seeking compensation plus damages. Compensation is clearly warranted. Mr. Gray, you provided housing, utilities, support for 2 years? I stood, clear voice. Yes, Your Honor, because Jennifer is my daughter. I thought I was helping family. I didn't know I was housing thieves. Judge Morrison delivered the verdict. Judgment for plaintiff Robert Gray. Defendants Jennifer Thompson and Brian Thompson jointly and severally liable. $48,000 unpaid rent. $50,000 emotional distress damages. Total, $98,000. Additionally, I'm referring the forged medical documents to the district attorney for criminal investigation. We're adjourned. Jennifer stood, shaking. Your Honor, we don't have. Then you'll arrange payment plan or face collections. Should have considered that before committing fraud. Next case. In the courthouse hallway, Rebecca and I stood by the window. Through the glass, Jennifer and Brian argued, silent behind the barrier, but body language screamed. Brian gesturing wildly, Jennifer crying, Marcus Webb walking away, washing his hands of them. They'll file bankruptcy, Rebecca said. You won't see that 98,000. I don't need the money. I needed them to lose, completely. And they have. She studied my face. You know this destroys them. Their credit, their reputation, their marriage, probably. I watched Jennifer through the glass. They tried to destroy me first. They just did it quietly, with smiles and medical forms. I did it legally, in open court. The difference is, I won. Outside, March wind carried last traces of winter. I stood on steps where, months ago, I'd received that call about false harassment charges. Now, judgment in hand. $98,000 Jennifer and Brian didn't have. Rebecca touched my arm. You won, completely. But Robert, they're not done being your problem. Bankruptcy proceedings, possible criminal charges for the forgery, they'll be in the system for years. You'll be connected to this mess for... My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Photo attachment, Jennifer and Brian's house. For sale sign in yard. Message below. Lost our home. Lost everything. Hope you're happy. This isn't over. I showed Rebecca. She frowned. That sounds like a threat. We should... I deleted the message. Let them threaten. Let them flail. They have nothing left to hurt me with. I'm free. They're buried. That's enough. I started down courthouse steps. Behind me, Rebecca called. Where are you going? I didn't turn back. To find a house. In Sedona, maybe. Somewhere peaceful. Somewhere far from people who lie with smiles. I reached the bottom step. Kept walking. The war was won. Time to build something new. April arrived with brutal clarity. I sat in my Sedona rental, modest one-bedroom, mountain views, temporary shelter, while I searched for permanent home. Reading the bankruptcy filing Rebecca forwarded. Jennifer and Brian. Chapter 7. Total liabilities. $340,000. Assets. Virtually nothing. The $98,000 judgment I'd won sat atop their debt pile like a crown on ruins. Rebecca's email, they'll discharge most of it. You might recover 10 cents on the dollar, maybe less. Want to object to the filing? I typed back. No. Let them drown. The money had never been the point. Mid-April brought another update from Rebecca. Jennifer's employer, the insurance company, had terminated her. Court records became public. Company policy prohibited employees involved in fraud investigations, even civil cases. Jennifer filed for unemployment. Denied. Termination was for cause. Early May, Brian's consulting business collapsed. Clients discovered his court history through public record search, canceled contracts. His LinkedIn profile showed seeking opportunities, code for unemployed. Rebecca's investigator reported they were 3 months behind on apartment rent. Late May, I received my first payment from the bankruptcy trustee, $347.18, partial liquidation of their remaining assets. The check memo line read, Gray v. Thompson, partial distribution. I framed it, hung it in my apartment. Not for the money, for the proof. June brought divorce papers. Rebecca forwarded Jennifer's lawyer's email, relationship destroyed by financial stress and mutual recrimination. Jennifer claimed Brian pressured her into the guardianship scheme. Brian claimed Jennifer initiated the entire plan. What do you think? Rebecca asked on the phone. I think they're both liars blaming each other for getting caught. Mid-July, final bankruptcy discharge granted. My judgment, 96% uncollectible. Total recovered, $3,800 from asset liquidation. Rebecca's voice carried resignation. That's all you'll see. They have nothing left. Perfect. That was always the goal. Leave them with nothing. I created a folder on my laptop labeled Consequences. Saved every document Rebecca sent. Termination letter, bankruptcy filing, divorce petition, payment receipts. Not from vindictiveness. From an engineer's need to document the complete structural collapse I'd engineered. In early May, during errands in Phoenix, I drove past their apartment complex. Saw their car, old Honda. Brian's truck gone, probably repossessed. Noticed a for rent sign on their unit. They'd been evicted. I felt nothing. Late June brought an envelope forwarded from my Phoenix hotel. Jennifer's handwriting, handwritten letter, tear-stained pages, begging forgiveness. Brian had manipulated her. Could I help with rent? I read it once, fed it through my shredder, watched the strips fall into trash. I started house hunting seriously in July, toured 5 properties, focused on small, efficient homes. No room for guests. No space for people who claimed to be family but acted like predators. Each time a bankruptcy payment arrived, 3 total, April, May, July, I donated an equivalent amount to elder abuse prevention charity. 347 became 350. 892 became 900, transforming their debt into protection for others. Rebecca called mid-July with an update. Brian's attorney claims your vindictive lawsuit destroyed their lives. Says you could have accepted the $20,000 settlement. Implies you're the villain here. I replied by email. Vindictive? I use the legal system exactly as designed, to remedy fraud. They destroyed their own lives the moment they forged a doctor's signature. I just made sure there were consequences. Late June, Jennifer left a voicemail. I listened but didn't respond. Dad, it's me. I know you don't want to talk, but we're being evicted. Brian left. Took what little money we had. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If you could just, maybe a loan? A few thousand to get back on my feet? I'm your daughter. Please. The message ended with sobbing. I deleted it. You stopped being my daughter when you called me the old man and plotted to cage me. Actions have consequences. You taught me that. Rebecca's final update came in July. Bankruptcy discharge is final. Jennifer kept her car, 15-year-old Camry, only exempt asset. Brian kept nothing. They're officially divorced. She moved to Tucson, working retail at Target. He's living with his brother in California. Separate cities, separate lives, separate failures. You sound satisfied. I sound finished. There's a difference. A text came from an unknown number. Jennifer from a new phone. Dad, I see you're in Sedona. I looked up property records. Are you buying a house? After everything, you get a fresh start, and I'm working retail, living in a studio, buried in debt that won't discharge for years? How's that fair? I read it twice. Started typing a response. Stopped. Deleted the draft. Blocked the number. Fair? She wanted to discuss fair? Fair was 40 years of providing for her. Fair was opening my home for 2 years. Fair was trusting my daughter. She gambled on my death or incapacity. Lost. Now lived with consequences. That wasn't unfair. That was arithmetic. Late July evening, I sat on my rental's small balcony, watching sunset paint Sedona's red rocks in impossible colors. My phone showed 3 block numbers, Jennifer trying different phones to reach me. Each block felt like closing a door. Final door. Permanent. My laptop displayed a property listing. 2-bedroom house, West Sedona, $320,000. Mountain views, 1/4-acre lot. Small, manageable. Mine. The realtor's email waited for response. Owner accepted your offer. Escrow opens tomorrow. Congratulations on your new home. My finger hovered over reply. Tomorrow, I'd start paperwork. Tomorrow, new foundation. But tonight, I wanted to sit with this moment, the space between destruction and creation. My phone buzzed again. Same block number pattern. Jennifer's 4th attempt today. I didn't even look. Just watched the sun sink behind Thunder Mountain. Behind me, my laptop chimed. New email. Subject, final bankruptcy distribution, 147.32. I smiled. They were sending me money they didn't have, paying debts they couldn't afford, drowning in consequences they'd built themselves. And I was buying a house, in the mountains, alone, exactly as planned. The phone buzzed again. Different pattern. Rebecca, I answered. Robert, I have news. The DA's office, they're moving forward. Criminal charges for the medical forgery. Brian's being indicted. Thought you should know. I looked at the darkening sky. Even now, consequences were still unfolding. August 28th, I stood in my new living room, empty except for boxes and light streaming through windows. painting red rock views across bare walls. 2 days since closing. 2 days of sleeping on an air mattress, eating takeout, unpacking the essentials of a life rebuilt from foundation up. My phone sat on the windowsill, silent for once. No blocked numbers this morning, no Jennifer's desperate attempts. Maybe she'd finally accepted the permanent distance. Then it vibrated. I picked it up, expecting Rebecca with final escrow documents. Instead, notification from Wells Fargo. Wire transfer received, 2,400 bars. From Jennifer Thompson. Memo. Final payment. Sold car. Please forgive me. I stared at the notification. Felt nothing. Transferred the money to Arizona Elder Abuse Prevention within minutes. A text arrived from unknown number. Jennifer, yet another new phone. Dad, I sent everything I have. $2,400. I sold my car. I'm taking the bus to work now. I need you to know. I'm sorry. Can we talk, please? I read it. Didn't respond. Screenshot it. Sent to Rebecca with message. Document this. Evidence of continued contact attempts. Afternoon brought furniture delivery. Simple pieces, quality construction, everything chosen for one person's comfort. I directed movers, arranged my bedroom, set up a small office, created space that was entirely mine. No guest room, no accommodation for family. Just my sanctuary. Evening, I sat on the back deck watching sunset over red rocks. Phone buzzed. Another text from Jennifer. I see you read my message. I know you did. Just one conversation. I'll drive to Sedona. Please, Dad, I'm your daughter. My thumb hovered over a block contact button. I pressed it. Then went into phone settings. Blocked all unknown numbers. Created whitelist, Rebecca Doctor, utility companies, contractors. Everyone else. Silence. Then deleted Jennifer's contact entirely. Name gone, numbers gone, erased. I called Rebecca that morning. She sent $2,400. Sold her car. Wrote, please forgive me in the memo line. Rebecca's voice was gentle. Robert, that's significant sacrifice. She's working retail, has no car now, probably walking or busing to work. Maybe she's genuinely... I cut her off. Genuinely sorry she got caught. Genuinely sorry she lost. Not genuinely sorry she tried. I'm donating it to Elder Abuse Prevention. Let it protect someone else. You're sure? Last chance to build a bridge. I'm not in the bridge business anymore. I build walls now, strong ones. The furniture delivery guy was cheerful, setting up my couch. Nice place. You retiring here? Family nearby? I arranged cushions. Retiring, yes. Family? No, just me. Solo living, freedom, right? No one telling you what to do. I managed a slight smile. Exactly. No one taking what's mine, either. At sunset, standing on my deck, I read Jennifer's text, aloud to myself. I'm your daughter. Present tense, as if that's still true. As if signing fake medical documents, plotting guardianship, stealing 2 years of my life, as if none of that severed the relationship permanently. I deleted the contact. You were my daughter. Past tense. You chose to end that. I'm just honoring your choice. Rebecca called that evening. Robert, Brian's indictment came through. 2 counts. Forgery, attempted fraud. Trial probably next spring. Jennifer might be called as witness. Will you attend? No, I don't need to see him in handcuffs. The legal system is handling it. I'm done watching them suffer. I'm not interested in their pain, only my peace. So this is really over? You're closing this chapter? I closed it when I blocked her final number. Now I'm just living the epilogue. I unpacked boxes methodically. Clothes in closet. Dishes in kitchen. Photos of Emily on the mantel. But no photos of Jennifer. I'd removed her from the narrative of my life, visually and emotionally. Set up my home office. Laptop on desk facing window view. Files organized. Rebecca's number on speed dial. Legal documents in fireproof safe. Maintaining structure. Maintaining control. Maintaining victory. I walked the property boundary at sunset. Quarter acre of red rock landscape. Pinon pines. Silence. Felt weight lifting from my shoulders. This was the first home in 5 years that was truly safe. No plotters. No predators. No family pretending love while planning theft. One final symbolic act. I took the old house key from Phoenix, kept in my pocket since November, walked to the deck edge, and threw it into the canyon below. watched it disappear into brush and rock. Last physical connection to the betrayal, gone. My phone buzzed one final time. Jennifer from yet another number. Dad, please, I'm begging. I have nothing. No car, no savings, no family. You're all I have left, one chance. That's all I ask. I read it, felt the pull, old instinct, father protecting daughter, then remembered November 17th, her voice saying, the old man doesn't suspect a thing. Remembered the fake medical papers. Remembered 2 years of lies. I didn't block this number. Instead, typed my response, first direct message to Jennifer in 9 months. You have exactly what you built, so do I. The difference is, I built mine on truth. Goodbye, Jennifer. Sent it. Immediately blocked the number. Turned off the phone completely. Stood on the deck. Breathed. It was finished. The sun dropped behind Thunder Mountain, taking the last light with it. I stood on my deck, my house, my life, watching stars emerge over red rock spires. Somewhere in Tucson, Jennifer was probably crying. Somewhere in Los Angeles, Brian was probably meeting with his criminal attorney. I felt nothing about either scenario. Not satisfaction, not pity. Nothing. They'd become strangers. Expensive strangers who'd taught me valuable lessons about trust and consequences, but strangers nonetheless. My phone stayed off. Would stay off until morning, maybe longer. In the kitchen, boxes still needed unpacking. In the bedroom, pictures needed hanging. In the office, files needed organizing. All of it, mine to handle, mine to build, mine to protect. No one to betray me. No one to plot against me. No one to call me the old man while forging documents with my name. I walked inside, locked the door, set the alarm, new system, new codes. No one else had access. Stood in the center of my empty living room, listening to the silence. Perfect silence. Tomorrow, I'd unpack more boxes. Next week, I'd explore Sedona trails. Next month, maybe join a woodworking class. The future stretched ahead. Mine to design, mine to build, mine to live. I'd started this story as a victim, ended it as an architect. They'd tried to bury me in paperwork and lies. Instead, I'd buried them in consequences and risen above the wreckage. The war was over. I'd won. Not because I destroyed them, though I had, but because I'd built something they could never touch, a life without them. I turned off the lights. The house settled around me. Safe, secure, silent, mine. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching,